Good morning, all. I'd like
Good
to
morning.
call to order the special meeting for the Board of Directors of Hullum Home LLC. We take the roll, please.
President Louis Jordan,
Present.
Secretary William McCurdy, Treasurer Fred Herron, Treasurer Fred Herron, Director Marissa Brown, Director Nancy Bruni, Director Carrie Cox, Director Richard Turchio, Director Valerie Craig,
Present.
Director Michael Disman, Director Michael Disman,
Here.
Director Tick Sagerblum,
Yes, I am.
Director LaChana Turner.
Present.
And I'm sorry, was that Director Bruni?
I think it was
Cox.
Cox. And let the record show that Director Herron is also here.
A quorum is present, and we are in compliance with the Nevada open meeting law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any public comments? And these public comments are limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any single speaker has is allowed, may be limited. Public comment that is repetitious, slanderous, offensive, inflammatory, amounts to personal attack, or interference with the rights of other speakers is not allowed. Any person who acts in violation of these rules will be excused for the remainder of the meeting. This is public comment on these items, correct? Okay, that time will come. This is for the special meeting for Hullum Home LLC.
Hello, this is Madeline Rhodes, 914 West McWilliams Avenue. I'm gonna go over here. Dear board members, as a concerned resident and a community advocate, I am writing to express my concerns that residents as well as the resident advisory board, they have not been properly engaged throughout the process of the RAD conversion of the Hullum Home apartments as required by the HUD. In addition to the documentation that I'm going to be requesting, I'm asking for the evidence that the RAD board was provided complete written information on proposed RAD conversions, proof of notices sent out to RAD meetings discussed, and provided input on RAD plans, including attendance sheets, as well as documentation of all comments provided by the RAB, as well as the responses from SNRHA. Confirmation as well that the RAB was given the opportunity to review and comment on the RAD significant amendments. It has been brought to my attention as well through other residents that they may have not been informed, well, they were not informed and or trained in the proper execution of a RAD conversion, which is a violation of the policy, which also brings discourse to the community and builds distrust. So I'm requesting the following documents, please. Go right here. Written resident education materials on RAD, notices of resident meetings with attendance sheets, evidence of active engagement with the Hullum Home Residents Council, copy of the RAD significant amendment provided in a timely public review and comment, as well as documentation of all resident comments and SNRHA's responses. Moving forward with RAD conversions without fulfilling HUD's requirements threatens the relationships with Hullum Home residents as well as the broader community. I urge SNRHA both and the commissioners to reevaluate this public engagement process to ensure that residents are fully informed and well involved in the important decision. Please provide the requested public participation documentation at your earliest convenience. Thank you.
Thank you. Duly noted. The next item is the approval of the Hullum Home LLC resolution number HH1, and Frank Stafford will present that item.
Good morning. Frank Stafford, Director of Development Modernization. This item is for approval of the Hullum Homes LLC Resolution HH1. Background, the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority is preparing to close the financing for the conversion of Hullum Homes apartments under the Rental Assistance Program, more commonly referred to as RAD. Staff is requesting the board authorize the president and/or designee to execute any and all documents to take any action deemed necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, development, rehabilitation, and operation of the Hullum Homes apartments under RAD by approving Hullum Homes LLC Resolution number HH1. Staff requests the board to approve the resolution number HH1 and authorize president or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to obtain the financing needed for the RAD conversion and rehab of Hullum Homes.
No questions.
No questions? It's been moved to approve by Director Herron, second by Director Turner. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is citizen participation. Citizens, items raised under this portion of the agenda cannot be deliberated or acted upon by the board of AHP until a notice provision of the open meeting law has been complied with. If you wish to speak on matters on or off this agenda, please step up to the podium, clearly state your name and your address. In consideration of other, avoid repetition and limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes to ensure all persons have equal opportunity to speak. Each subject matters will be limited to 12 minutes. As a courtesy, we would ask that you not speak or be seated and interrupt the speakers or the directors. Seeing no comments?
Wait, for the first, I'm sorry, I'm late.
That's
Is this
okay.
the first round for the affordable housing program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so.
No, I'm sorry. No. This is Hullum Homes, yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's quite okay. Seeing no comments, move the meeting's adjourned. All right. Thank you. I'd like to now call to order the special board meeting for Hullum Homes Managers LLC. Roll call, please.
President Louis Jordan,
Present.
Secretary William McCurdy, Treasurer Fred Herron, Director Marissa Brown,
Present.
Director Nancy Bruni, Director Carrie Cox,
I can't hear. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Director Richard Churchio.
I can't hear either.
Director Valerie Craig,
Present.
Director Michael Disman, Director Michael Disman,
Present.
Director Tick Sagerblum, and Director LaChana Turner.
Present.
A quorum is
And Commissioner Bruni's on the phone. And I couldn't hear, but Commissioner Cox is present.
Thank
A
you.
quorum is present, and we are in compliance with the Nevada open meeting law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item is public comment. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium and give your name and for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. Public comment that is repetitious, slanderous, offensive, and inflammatory, amounts to personal attack, or interferes with the rights of other speakers is not allowed. Any person who acts in violation of these rules will be excluded for the remainder of the meeting. Are there any public comments? Seeing none, the next item is the approval of Hullum Homes LLC Resolution number HHM1 that will be presented by Frank Stafford.
Good morning, Frank Stafford, Director of Development Modernization. Background: the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority is preparing to close the financing for the conversion of Pelham Home Apartments under the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, commonly referred to as RAD. Staff is requesting the board to authorize the president and/or its designee to execute any and all documents and to take any action deemed necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, development, rehabilitation, operation of the Pelham Homes Apartments on a RAD by approving Pelham Home Manager LLC Resolution Number HHM-1. Action requested is the board to approve resolution under HHM-1 and authorize the president or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to obtain financing needed for the RAD conversion and rehabilitation of Pelham Homes.
Move to approve.
It's been moved to approve by Director Herring. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Brown. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you. I need citizen participation. Seeing none, we move to adjournment. I'd like to now call to order the Affordable Housing Program, AHP. Roll call, please.
President Louis Jordan,
Here.
Secretary William McCurdy, Treasurer Fred Herron, Director Marissa Brown,
Present.
Director Nancy Bruni,
Present.
Director Carrie Cox,
Present.
Director Richard Churchio, Director Valerie Craig,
Present.
Director Michael Dismond,
Present.
Director Tick Sagerblum, and Director LaChana Turner.
Present.
A quorum is present, and we are in compliance with the Nevada open meeting law.
Thank you. Next item is public comment. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any speaker is allowed may be limited. Public comment that is repetitious, slanderous, offensive, and inflammatory amounts of personal attack or interferes with the right of other speakers is not allowed. Any person who acts in violation of these rules will be excused for the remainder of the meeting.
Phyllis Carpenter, 2901 Schaefer Circle, number 3C. The Affordable Housing Program, Inc. bylaws state that that program is, or the Affordable Housing Program, Inc. was supposed to be ran by the residents, not by the board. It says in the bylaws, it was supposed to be run by the residents for the residents.
Any other comments? The next item is the approval of AHP Incorporated Resolution Number AHP 33 to enter into agreement and execute any and all documents necessary to close the financing for the RAD conversion of Pelham Homes Apartments. Frank Stafford will present that.
Frank Stafford, Director of Development Modernization. Background: staff is requesting the board approval of Affordable Housing Program Resolution Number AHP-33, authorizing the president and/or designee to execute any and all documents or take any other action deemed necessary or desirable to secure financing for the development, rehab, and operation of the Pelham Homes Apartments through a conversion to the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, more commonly known as RAD. Action requested is president requests the board to approve resolution number AHP-33, authorizing president and/or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to obtain the financing needed for the RAD conversion and rehabilitation of Pelham Homes.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion for approval? Move to approve by Director Sagerblum,
Second.
second by Director Cox. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, ayes have it. Public comment? Seeing that, I wanted to say for the record, the staff will meet with each individual who brought public comment to see that we resolve those issues. Hearing no other public comment, the special meeting is adjourned.
All right, I would like to call to order the special meeting of the Board of Commissioners for the Southern Valley Regional Housing Authority. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, we're going to roll call.
Chairperson William McCurdy.
Present.
Vice Chairperson Tick Sickerblom. Commissioner Nancy Bruni. Commissioner Carrie Cox.
Present.
Commissioner Richard Turchio.
And here, I imagine you called my name, but I'm present too, Commissioner Craig.
Thank you, Commissioner Craig.
And Commissioner Bruni.
Thank you, Commissioner Bruni. Commissioner Michael Disman.
Present.
Commissioner LaChana Turner.
Present.
And Commissioner Marissa Brown.
Present.
A quorum is present, and we are in compliance with the Nevada open meeting law.
Thank you so much. We'll now move on to public comment. Comment during this period of the agenda are limited to matters that are on the posted agenda. If you wish to be heard, please come forward to the podium, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of the time of any speaker is allowed will be 3 minutes. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote. Public comment that is repetitious, slanderous, offensive, and inflammatory, amounts to personal attacks, or interferes with the rights of other speakers is not allowed. And any person who acts in violation of these rules will be excused for the remainder of the meeting. Please come forward.
I'm sorry, Phyllis Carpenter, 2901 Schaefer. So in the past, I have asked for the agenda when it comes out. I wasn't brought the agenda until yesterday, so I didn't have really time to go through what is actually on it. I got to read a couple pages because I've been really busy, and it's just not fair. It wasn't posted before Labor Day. It wasn't, I didn't even check Monday because it was Labor Day, and then Tuesday, you know what I mean? It's just not, it's not fair that it's not being done the way it should be.
Jessica, would you like to respond to the process of posting the?
Yes, Jessica Walker, Executive Coordinator for the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority. The special board meeting for the Housing Authority, the notices were posted on Thursday, August 31st. It was sent to all of the properties as well as posted at all of our properties, as well as Clark County, the City of Henderson, the City of Las Vegas, and the City of North Las Vegas, as well as public libraries.
Thank
And
you.
the full agenda was posted to our website on Thursday, August 1st.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward during public comment in this period of time? Hearing and seeing no one else, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. We have approval by Vice Chair Segerblom. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Turner. Any comment? Seeing and hearing none, move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Motion is approved unanimous. We'll now move on to the approval of the agenda with the inclusion of any emergency items and deletion of any items. I entertain a motion. We have a motion by Vice Chair Segerblom. We have a second by Commissioner Turner.
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Hearing seeing no, move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any-
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone abstain? Anyone opposed? Motion is adopted unanimously. We'll now move on to Section 2. Receive a report from our Executive Director on administrative and operational activities.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Keeping in the spirit of our guiding principles of customer service, creating housing opportunities, and creating resident opportunities, since we last met, we've had a lot of things going on. I wanted to mention a couple things we did in the community with the intention of helping a targeted group of young residents understand job opportunities that may be available. We took close to 200 young folk and their parents out to the Las Vegas Raiders training camp. We went out there on training day to really give those families an opportunity to see what happens behind football. We had a great time. I want to give a a special shout out to Ms. Piper Overstreet White, who's the Raiders Vice President of Government Relations, and Ms. Aram, who's their Raiders, or who's also with the Raiders organization, Community Relationships. But I can't stress enough, the intent was not just to go and watch football. It was to go and see what happens behind football. And so we're excited about the relationship we're building with the Las Vegas Raiders. In addition to that, staff hosted a SBA small business event. We've heard from a number of residents their desires to start their own businesses. So right here in the chamber, we invited representatives from SBA to come in and really sit down and work with the residents on the possibility of getting businesses started, how to go about getting licensed and things of that nature. We partnered with Matt Kelly to do a book bag giveaway, as well as did a book bag giveaway. We partnered with Matt Kelly on the first day of school, had a wonderful show up of just people throughout the community to really encourage the students and their families. In addition to that, I wanted to make mention that we're in the midst of a series of Dress for Success workshops that we're doing. Again, as we look at just opportunities for residents to move from where they are to where they want to be, we feel very strongly that there's an obligation to support those efforts. We turned in our CNI planning grant. We turned the draft into HUD, and we're working on that. As you know, CNI is an effort that we're working with in conjunction with the 100 Plan to ultimately redevelop Marble Manor in that surrounding area. And I wanted to yield the balance of my time, Mr. Chair, to we did some work earlier this year with the legislative lobbyists to really help us understand how the state process works around legislation. And I think Mindy is on the phone. Mindy Elliott, I'll have her introduce herself and briefly talk about the work that they did with us during this recent legislative session. Mindy, are you there?
Good morning. Good morning, Director Lewis. Good morning. And I also have Nick Vanderpool is on the WebEx as well, and he worked with me in Carson City. Thank you so much for giving me some time this morning. Good morning, Chairman McCurdy. It's nice to see you again, and the rest of the commissioners as well as the staff. Just to give a brief overview, I had provided a legislative recap to the staff, and we had a detailed meeting. It was about, over an hour, hour and a half, a few weeks ago to discuss the various bills that passed. Just wanted to give you some insight. The session began on February 6th. It adjourned sine die on the 5th. We had two special sessions, one for the capital improvement plan, and then we had the A Stadium, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with. The bill draft requests, there were 1,234 bill draft requests. Total bills introduced was over 1,000 bills, and we reviewed every one of them. Total bills signed were 535. Bills that died were 295, and the vetoes, which was a record, were 75. There were over 1,000 lobbyists. That's just a number that I think is important. Of course, our priorities for the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority were affordable housing and homelessness. And of course, we encompass the education, some of the education funding, because it impacts your tenants. And I think from the perspective of our engagement with the staff, I don't think a week went by that we weren't on the phone with the staff or via emails, at least almost daily. There was a lot happening this session with housing, as everyone is familiar with. So we were engaged with the staff and with this team just, as I said, just frankly, it was almost every day. We do have a few changes. We already have some resignations and some understanding of individuals that will be running next session. We have Senator Heidi Gansert in the north. We understand, I learned yesterday, that Angie Taylor, who you might remember worked very closely with us on AB 333, which I'll talk about, she has inquired that she's going to be running for the Senate. Assemblywoman Michelle Gorlow has announced that she is stepping down. Assemblywoman Jasama is running for Congress. So we are going to see a lot of changes as it relates to the Senate next session. Move forward over to here. As far as bills go that were important to us, AB 62 provides a tax exemption for low-income housing. It used to be that in order for a property to receive a property tax exemption, it had to have a portion of the home funds. This bill, AB 62, was an agency bill. We worked very closely with all the housing authorities as well as about a housing coalition to ensure that this bill passed. So now in the capital stack, as long as there is LIHTC, home funds, some type of abatement for affordable housing, the property will now receive a property tax exemption. So this will open up the ability for organizations to receive that property tax exemption. And more importantly, the applicability of the home funds was slowing down because of the requirement for public hearings. It was slowing down the actual construction. So this will allow us to expedite the construction for affordable housing. Nick, I should have introduced you. I apologize. Is there anything you'd like to add up to this point? I'm sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Okay, I will keep rolling forward. AB 213, which was sponsored by Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong, was sponsored by Assemblywoman Howdegate. That bill provides or made a requirement to local jurisdictions for reporting their timeliness for affordable housing projects. I've been in discussions with a lot of the local jurisdictions, their government affairs. We're really going to monitor this. They're concerned that it actually might slow down the process, but we're going to be working with them over the course of the next 12 months to see if we need to do some adjustments, some tweaking to this bill during the next session. We're hoping that that it has the opposite effect, that we can actually expedite. I know we have representatives from the jurisdictions on the board here, and we are very cognizant that the last thing we want to do with this bill is to slow the process of approving projects down. So we are going to work very closely. Majority Leader Howdegate, that certainly was not her intent, but there was some concern that the local jurisdictions are shorthanded, and they made their concerns very public. So we'll be working on AB 213 over the biennium.
Very good. Mindy, thank you so much. As indicated, the executive summary was made available, to staff, and we'll make sure that the board gets that. I just wanted to say for the record that I'm not sure how long it's been since or if we've worked with an organization like the one Mindy represents, and we found it to be quite valuable, and we're looking forward to working with them as time goes on. Thank you, Mindy.
Add that I just, for the board and the commission, the staff and the consultants that we work with on behalf of this organization were always available to us. And I just want to publicly thank Mr. Jordan and all of his team for that, because we were working on the dime, and they were very responsive, and I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. The other thing I wanted...
I'm sorry, Mr. Director.
Yes.
But this is Commissioner Vice Chair Tick Sagerblum. I just wondered if Nick and Mindy have any love for me.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Okay. I also wanted to bring to your attention, everyone should have gotten a pamphlet when they walked in. This is just a snippet of the things that the staff, resident leaders are doing, along with our partners on a monthly basis. So we're really excited about the ongoing collaboration. If you open it up, it'll speak to some of the things I mentioned, as well as our on the 29th of July hosting a first-time homeowners education class, and I think we did that in conjunction with Commissioner Segerblum, and had an unbelievable turnout. So again, always looking at those guiding principles of customer service, creating housing opportunities, and creating opportunities for residents. We move forward. Are there any questions at all? Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Now we'll move on to Section 3, the consent agenda item number 6, which is the approval to write off outstanding tenant accounts, receivable vacated accounts for the period ending June 30th, 2023. We have a motion by Vice Chair Segerblum. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing, seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is adopted, and for the record, that second by was Commissioner Brown. We'll now move on to item number 7, Section 4.
Commissioner, since our last gathering, the following residents have departed, and I'm going to read the names. We'll ask for a moment of silence for the departed. Jonathan Cook, Crystal Ford, Preston Hundley, Leroy Jackson, William Coates, Michael McDonald, Margaret Van Breckel, and Willie Mae Woolite. Thank you.
Moving on to item 8, Section 5, the approval of the Housing Authority operating budget for fiscal year September 30, 2024. Mr. Herron.
Good morning, Commissioners. Fred Herron, Chief Administrative Officer for the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority. Attached are copies of the FY 2024 operating budgets for the Southern Nevada Housing Authority, the Conventional Low-Wind Program, the Central Office Call Center, the Housing Choice Voucher Program, the Affordable Housing Program, and the Net Stabilization Program, as well as all agency grants. This budget covers our estimated operating receipts and expenditures, as well as some non-routine expenditures. I did have a chance to meet with the majority of the commissioners to discuss this budget in detail. I would like to just kind of briefly go over some of the major highlights in the operating budget that's presented for your approval. We are projecting, Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority is projecting of $564,000 net income and residual receipts in FY 2024 from a budget perspective. The Conventional Low-End Program, which is our public housing programs, we are anticipating having a net income in the amount of $129,000. Some of the major changes in this program is James Downtown, as you very well know, is converted over to RAD, and Hullum Homes, as we just approved this morning, will be converted to RAD in the next month or so. The Housing Choice Voucher Program is projecting the net residual receipts in the amount of $256,517 in the upcoming fiscal 2024 budget. We did receive additional 212 vouchers in this current year, which is going to generate a little over $500,000 in admin fees to operate our Section 8 program, as well as additional $10 million in HAP funding to pay our landlords for the work they do for us. Central Office Cost Center is projecting a net income of $27,000. Some of the major changes in this particular budget is we are adding 3 new positions, a Chief Housing Officer, a Lead Customer Service Experience Associate, and a Customer Experience Associate to assist our call center. The Affordable Housing Program budget We're anticipating having a net residual receipts in the amount of $48,000 at year end. There are some things we are excited about. The new apprenticeship program for our maintenance program that we are actively starting in this year's upcoming budget. We set aside $200,000 out of our non-federal program funds to support this program, to bring some of our men and women into our maintenance force. They'll be working part-time, 30 hours a day, or 30 hours a week. That's a lot of hours, 30 hours a day, 30 hours a week, and 3 of those hours will be dedicated for classroom studies to get some technical skills on the maintenance side. And hopefully in the next 6 to 8 months, we can bring those apprenticeships in our workforce. We also applied for a HUD Job Plus program grant in the amount of $4 million, and it's a 4.5-year grant. We're required to put in approximately $958,000 of in-kind to support this program in salaries for some of the trainers, and this grant is in collaboration with the Workforce Connection group, and it's designed to bring jobs to the west side of Las Vegas for the Marble Manor and the Sherman Garden area. The agency budget for 2024 is approximately $207 million. Some of the changes from 23 to 24, salaries and benefits and maintenance salaries and benefits increased 12% and 11% respectively from 23 to 24 fiscal year. Our PERS increased as well from 29.75% to 33.5%, an increase of 3.75% in our PERS allocation. And our total expenditures from fiscal year 23 to 24 increased about 4% in this upcoming budget. And we asked the board, the executive director is asking the board to approve our fiscal year 2024 budget. Any questions?
Commissioner Turner.
Yes, I see something I was excited about in that section about the jobs that you're going to create with some of this money, correct?
The apprenticeship program?
Yes, apprenticeship program, and I'm delighted to know that the residents will be selected to be the first ones.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no further questions, I entertain a motion for approval of the September 30, 2024 budget. We have a motion by Vice Chair Segerblom, a second by Commissioner Turner. Is there any other comments, questions, concerns? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion is adopted. Budget is approved. Move down to item number 9, approval to raise procurement micro threshold to $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Johnny Shaw, Procurement Manager. The background, on March 1st of 2023, HUD revised the 2 CFR 200 to allow housing agencies the option to increase the micro threshold from 10,000 to 50,000. 2 of the requirements ensure that the new threshold is not in conflict with any local codes or state regulatory requirements. We have reviewed our methods of procurement, and the 50,000 threshold is not in conflict with those requirements. Also, we must certify on an annual basis as a housing agency's eligibility to establish the increased micro threshold, 10,000, and maintain the file appropriate documentation in the procurement files. Action, the Executive Director requests the Board of Commissioners to approve the increase of procurement's threshold from 10,000 to 50,000. Questions?
Any questions? If there are no questions, I entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Segerblom, second by
Second.
Commissioner Brown. Is there any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye. Aye.
Must be a lag. A motion is adopted. Now move on to item number 10.
Item 10 is the, in concordance and alliance with the FY24 budget. Item 10 is to renew all of, not all, but majority of the annual service contracts that are above the executive director's threshold of $150,000. The attached list of contracts for FY24 that will commence on October 1st of this year and end on 9/30 of 2024 is being brought to the board for approval. The source of the eligible expenditure funds and services for each contract are listed and are included in the SNRHA FY24 operating budgets. Please note that the board is only approving column E, which is the second column from the right, and column F represents the total contract value over multiple years. The Executive Director requests the Board of Commissioners to review and approve the FY24 annual service contracts.
Are there any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, I entertain a motion. A motion by Vice Chair Segerbloom, second by
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Yes.
Any discussion? Hearing seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Anyone opposed? Motion is adopted. Item number 11.
Frank Stafford, Director of Development Modernization. Item number 11 is for the approval resolution number SNRHA 123, to enter into an agreements and execute all documents necessary to obtain financing for the RAD conversion of Hullum Homes. The action request is the Executive Director requests the Board of Commission to approve resolution SNRHA 123, authorizing the Executive Director and or his designee to execute any and all documents necessary or desirable to facilitate the financing, closing, rehabilitation, and operation of the Hullum Homes apartment RAD conversion.
Any questions from members of the board? Hearing seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. We have a motion by Vice Chair Segerbloom. We have is there a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Dismond. Any discussion? Hearing seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion is adopted. We'll now move on to item number 12.
Item number 12, approval to increase KME Architects contract number C19038 by $788,796.09 for architecture, engineering, design services for the development of Marion Bennett Plaza Phase 2. Background on this item. In October 2022, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak and the Nevada Housing Division announced the first round of awards for the $500 million Home East Nevada initiative. The Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority was awarded $67.5 million in Home East Nevada funds to complete 5 projects, one of which was the development of a second building at Marion Bennett Plaza.
I'm sorry, Frank, how much was that again?
$67.5 million.
All right, I just wanted to get that on the record.
Yeah.
I have a question.
He's still presenting. I just wanted to get that number on the record. He'll get the question right afterwards.
Thank you.
Bennett Plaza is a 65-unit, 61-bedroom, and 5 two-bedroom senior development located at 1818 Balzar Avenue. Construction of the first phase was completed in 2011. Originally, it was planned that Bennett Plaza would have 2 buildings or 2 wings, but construction costs and funding availability prevented the development of the second phase. The SNRHA also received funding from the Clark County Community Housing Funds and Home East Nevada funds to fully finance the development of the second phase of Bennett Plaza. The SNRHA has engaged KME Architects to provide the architectural and design services needed for this project. KME submitted a proposal of $839,796.04 for these services. Due to time constraints of the Home East Nevada Fund, a task order was issued in the amount of $51,179.95 to KME to allow them to begin preliminary work on the project, which leaves a balance due of $788,796.09. Funding for these services will be paid out of a revolving fund, which will be pulled from the SNRHA development reserves and reimbursed back to the SNRHA Home Needs Nevada, from the SNRHA Home Needs Nevada funds. Action is Executive Director requests the Board of Commissioners to approve to increase KME Architects contract number C19038 by $788,796.09 for the development of Phase 2 of Bennett Plaza.
Thank you for the presentation. Commissioner Craig.
Thank you. I have a question for construction for those individuals that are doing the construction. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, thank you very much. My question is, whenever these construction entities come in these various buildings that belong to SNRHA, I understand, this is my experience, what they're doing here at Jamestown Tower is they put in English that is dangerous for individuals to come in and come out. My only question is, and I would hope that you all would do, put up signs. We have quite a few people that speak Spanish, and then also for safety factors, ensure that the doors are locked in a timely manner. I understand construction is being done, but the major thing is there something wrong with me asking that you all have signs that are at least done in Spanish for people that are, that speak Spanish and they don't understand the English? And the other thing is also ensure for sure that the doors are always locked in all of the construction sites, period. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Craig. At this point, we're just discussing allotting additional funds for the architectural work that needs to be done. I believe that when we get time to some type of construction agreement, when we're down the road on that, we can make sure that those concerns are brought forward at that time.
I can't hear you, but I think you were saying that he's talking about the funds that he wants to appropriate, and I understand that. But underlying that, it's just still my concern for safety. I'm just putting this bug in the ear. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Are there any other questions from members of the board?
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Segerbloom. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Turner. Is there any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any abstentions? Anyone opposed? Motion is adopted. Item 13.
Item 13 is approval of resolution number SNRHA-124, authorizing the Executive Director to enter into negotiations with the Michaels Organization for the development of vacant parcels at Duncan and Edwards and 28th and Sunrise. Background: October 22nd, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak and Housing Division announced the first round of awards from $500 million Home Needs Nevada funds. The SNRHA was awarded $67.5 million in these funds to complete
Pause. What was that, Frank?
$67.5 million.
Okay, I just wanted to get on the record.
To complete 5 projects, 2 of which was the development of the affordable housing on the vacant land located at Duncan and Edwards and 28th and Sunrise. In March of 2023, the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority put out an RFP for master developer services for the mixed finance, mixed income redevelopment of 3 sites. Duncan and Edwards, the Old Rose Gardens, and 28th and Sunrise were the 3 sites. 8 submissions were received and reviewed by a panel consisting of staff from the SNRHA, the City of Las Vegas, and the City of North Las Vegas. The panel reviewed all the submissions, interviewed all the competitors, and upon receipt of the best and final offer from each applicant, it was decided that the Michaels Organization would be offered the opportunity to develop the housing on the parcels located at Duncan and Edwards and 28th and Sunrise. Resolution number SNRHA 124 authorizes the Executive Director to enter into negotiations with the Michaels Organization to form a partnership for the purpose of developing the vacant land at the junction of Duncan and Edwards and the vacant land located at the junction of 28th and Sunrise. Action requests the Executive Director requests the Board of Commissioners to approve Resolution SNRHA 124, authorizing the Executive Director and/or designee to enter into negotiations and execute any and all documents necessary or desirable to form a partnership with the Michaels Organization for the development of Duncan Edwards and 28th and Sunrise.
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any questions from members of the board, either in person or online? All right. We have a motion by Vice Chair Segerbloom. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes, I second that.
Oh, I thought you. They beat you to the punch, Commissioner
I
Cox.
second it too.
Okay, there, everyone seconded, but we're gonna official second by
did I.
Commissioner Disman. Is there any comments on the motion? Hearing and saying no, move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone abstention? Any abstains? Anyone opposed? This motion is adopted. We'll now move on to item number 14.
Item number 14, approve a resolution number SNRHA-125, authorizing executive director to enter into negotiations with McCormick, Barone, and Salazar, Inc. for the development of vacant land from the demolition of the old Rose Gardens apartments. Background, October 22nd, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak and Nevada Housing Division announced the first round of awards from the $500 million Home East Nevada initiative. The Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority was awarded $67.5 million in Home East Nevada funds to complete 5
I'm sorry,
projects.
Frank, what was that?
$67.5 million. One of which was the development of affordable housing on the vacant land left from the demolition of the old Rose Gardens apartment. March of 2023, the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority put out an RFP for master developer services for the mixed
I will be
finance,
done in 5 minutes.
mixed income redevelopment of 3 sites, Duncan Edwards, the old Rose Gardens, and 28th and Sunrise. 8 submissions were received and reviewed by a panel consisting of staff from the SNRHA, City of Las Vegas, and City of North Las Vegas. The panel reviewed all submissions and interviewed competitors upon receipt of the best and final offer from each applicant. It was decided that McCormick, Barone, and Salazar would be offered the opportunity to develop affordable housing on the vacant land left from the demolition of the old Rose Garden apartment. Resolution number SNRH 125 authorized the executive director to enter into negotiation with McCormick, Barone, and Salazar, Inc. to form a partnership for developing the vacant land at the old Rose Gardens. Action requested. Executive director requests the Board of Commissioners to approve SNRHA resolution number SNRHA 125, authorizing executive director and or designee to enter into negotiations and execute any and all documents or desirable to form partnership with McCormick, Barone, Salazar for the affordable housing development at the old Rose Gardens site.
Thank you for your presentation. Are there any comments from members of the board, either in person or online? Hearing and seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Sigerbloom. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Turner. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Motion is adopted.
Before we move on, could I just ask, do we have a total amount of units that are going to be created or approximate for all these things we just approved?
For the 3 that we completed that were on the agenda today, we're looking at a minimum of 60 each at the Duncan and Edwards and the 28th and Sunrise, a minimum of 120 at the Old Rose Gardens, and a minimum of 46 at the Bennett Plaza, although we will be looking to see if we can increase that number based on funding for those sites. But those are the minimum numbers we're looking at.
And Commissioner, we anticipate in the next year and a half to 2 that we'll bring on approximately 300 new units and 120 rehab units. We're anticipating $145 million in unit development costs over the next couple of years. And I don't know if time would allow, but we have both. We have representatives from Michaels here, as well as from, I think, McCormick Barnes on the phone. Or no? Well,
I'm not sure.
Chair, do we have a moment to just hear from Michaels?
Yes, we have a brief moment.
All right. So there was a thumb drive that was provided that looks at, and we also have someone from McCormick Barron as well. Very good. So we'll, very brief, gentlemen, just kind of shoot through what you provided us. Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, it's an honor to be here and really grateful for the opportunity to work with you all. So I was asked to bring just some pictures of some of the things that Michaels have, not things, units, affordable communities that Michaels has developed over the years. We've been in business 50 years, and we've developed over 55,000 units. And so We're very experienced. We're in most states in the United States. So I just wanted to highlight some of the different communities. This is a 60-unit community that we were designing here in Nevada. If you want to go to the next one. One of the two architects that we'll be using is Greenie Tyndall. This is a community that they recently completed here in Nevada. They've also done over 30,000 units here in Nevada, so we feel like we've got a great partner. If you can go to the next slide. I just wanted to highlight, just the variety of architecture, size, scope of affordable units that we've done. This is in California. If you want to go to the next one. Another larger complex in California. Next one. Another nice one in California. Next one. This is a beautiful community that we recently completed in Alabama. Next. Same in Alabama. Here's a community that we recently completed in Florida. We've also just started a 1,500 unit development for Disney and workforce housing. If you can go to the next one. This is a community that we just recently completed in Austin, Texas.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Again, just wanted to get a highlight. How about McCormick and Barron? And then we're going to have KME come up and say a comment as well.
Hello, good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kevin Griffith, the Senior Vice President at McCormick Barron Salazar.
A little closer, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we provided some images, Frank. I don't know if you have them loaded in a deck or not. But.
Just give a quick overview of some of the places you worked and
Great,
some
yes.
things you've
We
done.
are also a 50-year-old organization headquartered and formed originally in St. Louis, Missouri, but we've been a national company for the last several decades. I oversee the West Coast development operations based in California, but folks might know that we are very active in the Las Vegas market, in particular working on the Desert Pines redevelopment opportunity, which is going to be very exciting, bringing a large number of affordable units to the community. We're very excited by this opportunity to expand our work here. We love the Old Rose site and think it's a great piece of land in order to provide additional 120 homes for seniors in the community. We have designated a team already. We're working with Perlman Architects, who's done some great work here in the community and really understands how things work locally. We also, I guess our images are not available, but we do, because we work in so many different markets with different types of development, we're also adept at working with a variety of architectural styles, so we're very confident we can build something that's going to be really a community asset and fit into that community and be an asset for the future and for the housing authority's long-term ownership.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then finally, Mr. Chair, KME.
Good morning, everyone, Commissioner and members of the board. My name is Melvin Green. I am the principal at KME Architects. We are a full-service architecture firm, minority and DBE. We've done a lot of work in the community. We've been working with the Housing Authority for over 15 years. We are also working with numerous other organizations in West Las Vegas, so we have a in-depth understanding of what the needs are. The project we're working on is Marion Bennett Plaza, Phase 2. We also did the Booker Elementary School, which is just to the east of that. So we're excited to be part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
I have a question. Is this going to be like rehousing for current residents, or is this a new opportunity for new residents?
It's a combination. We'll have some rehab. I think approximately 120 units of that 400 I spoke of will be rehab, but no, it will be brand new units. Additional units that we'll add to our portfolio.
All right, thank you everyone for the presentations. We'll now move on to item number section 6, new business. Are there any new business items from members of the board who would like to bring them forward at this point?
I want to ask a question. So some of these properties that we are converting to RAD, and I think for that that purpose, they have to commit to like 30 years or something. But if it turns out that that property, we could convert it and make a higher density, is there a way we can go back and work with the new owners to rehab it and make it a higher density? Because some of the properties we're talking about are pretty valuable properties.
Speak to that.
Can you repeat the first part of that?
I was wondering, once we convert one of our properties to RAD, can we then work with that owner going forward? If we said, gee, that's a valuable piece of property, we would like to make it higher density. A lot of these are just like one-story buildings. Is it possible to go back to the new owner and say, let's partner with you and build more units on that piece of property?
Well, yeah, if the land is available, I'm sure that would be a viable option. It's kind of like what we're doing at Bennett Plaza. Even though we're talking about just doing, like, say, 2 floors, we're going to look to see if we can actually add maybe an additional 23 unit on that parcel because of the size. So if there's the space there and you can get the financing in place, of course, that's possible.
So we can work with the RAD owner?
It would probably be a combination of the owner, which the housing authority is also still part of.
We'll be part
of the ownership.
All right. I just wanted to verify that. Thank you.
Commissioner Craig. Okay, maybe not. All right, since there are no other potential new business items, we'll now move on to the second portion of the citizens participation period, public comment. This is time for you to come forward. You'll be limited again to 3 minutes. And please state your name and your residence for the record. Okay, I'll call you up, actually. I got some cards here. We'll start with Kathleen Smith.
Good morning, everyone. I just felt as though this may have been a forum for me to be able to express my grievances with the program overall. I've been on the program since 2000. I've been residing here in Las Vegas since 2007. My present residence I've been living in since 2008, and the problems I've been having has been with the case managers that I've been encountering, that when I've tried to get explanation as to why certain things are being done, they've been coming at me with really condescending attitude and not answering my questions. Like, for instance, my voucher at this present time is for $2,078 for a 3-bedroom, but then they've allowed the owner to increase the rent to $2,200, and so I'm being told that my income can only be adjusted to what the voucher states, which is $2,078, and that any monies over that, I have to pay that. And I'm like, well, why is it that I have to pay that? If that's the case, to me, then that's making a side payment, and isn't that against the law, the HUD rules, that you can't make a side payment to a landlord? And then other issues that I've had in the past is that, well, I know a few years ago I did write to the executive director in Washington, D.C. for HUD what issues that were going on here. I had a case manager that, her name was Norma Gray, and how she talked to me at that time, stating to me, how is it that you can get a 3-bedroom voucher, and I live with my daughter and I have to sleep on the couch, and so how do you rate getting that? I said, well, I have my doctor sign what needed to be signed to allow me to have the additional bedroom. And so that's been a fight since 2008 with securing this. And things have just gotten to a point for me that where, and also I just like to add that I did apply for resident commissioner a couple years ago here for the Housing Authority, And I did make it as far as being in the top 5 to be selected to be a resident commissioner, but I wasn't selected. And I see here on the board, I don't see a spot for a resident commissioner. I don't know if one was ever selected or not. So, you know, I have a question about that. And I can just say that.
Thank you. That concludes your time. Well, we will ask if you would like to hang back after the meeting. You can have opportunity to have some of your comments and concerns addressed. We'll now move on to Shamoya Lacey. Or is it Shamaya? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Good morning. I'm here again to once again address my concerns regarding evictions and the processes and the procedures that they take to proceed in issuing these evictions and not preventing it, because we have resources that prevent eviction. And if we take those resources into consideration and apply them and give that information to the tenants, we can prevent eviction, which in my case was never given to me once again. Also, I have proved on several occasions, on several levels, that my eviction was illegally done. Yes, I was provided resources after the fact that weren't even applicable to me, that I have reached out to. I am still unhoused. I am also having several medical issues due to the stress, the discomfort. I was just hospitalized due to medical conditions that I'm occurring due to not being in my home and not being able to take care of myself with my medical equipment and things that I have to have because I have been illegally evicted. No one looked into the paperwork that I presented to the housing authority to see that the office manager that issued the eviction, she didn't even have the proper paperwork. It was no dates on it when it was issued through the court system. So how was that accurately done? And an eviction was stood on and no one looked into it. No one came to me, asked me, or asked for the proper documentation or asked what happened. They went exactly with what the property manager went with after I've showed on several occasions over and over and over again that it was done illegally. They wanted to get brushed under the rug. It's not. I'm not going nowhere, and I'm going to keep pressing the issue until somebody takes accountability for these evictions, not mine, several other ones that are in play. These property managers are still taking cash on the side, as she said, it can't be done. And I have talked to several people that are in the middle of eviction due to the lack of staff not doing their job to prevent the evictions from happening and giving these resources. I mean, people don't know about these things if they don't have them. Some people have medical issues to where they have learning disabilities. So you have to make it applicable to everyone that's under you guys' umbrella. If it's not being posted at the time it should be posted, or when we're coming to the office and asking for things, or the office is not open because they're only open 2 days of the week and property managers are managing all of these properties, that's not our problem as residents. Thank you.
Thank you for coming forward, and we also ask that you hang back and see if we can get some of your concerns addressed. Madeline Rhodes. And the last card we have is Phyllis Carpenter.
Madeline Rose, 914 West McWilliams Avenue. I'm coming and saying, speaking on several things real quick. I first want to say, yes, customer service is very, very important. And I do want to go back and I want to talk as I was a person who attended the Raiders event. And I would say, unfortunately, Director, it was not concluded to people that that's what that event was. and it was not even announced until at the end that this was about look at the other jobs, see what's going on. There was no person, no contact information for anybody. There was no outreach to that aspect. We just were told this was so people can see different jobs, but where was the setup? Where was the conversation? What was the communication afterwards to make sure that if we wanted to participate, that we had access to that? When you talk about the ACP, the Affordable Connectivity Program, Cox does the same thing. So does other phone organizations. But what happens with the residents is once you sign up for one thing, it knocks you out of something else. So now you're paying full price on something else when you're getting a discount at somewhere else. So it kind of, we need to find an actual plan, something that really is conducive, that works, that doesn't knock them out and takes away the discount that they're trying to get due to their lack of being in that area. As well as, I understand there was a gentleman who you guys are working with when it comes to the vacant properties and things of rehabilitating those, which is a concern to me as a resident within Marble Manor that's going underneath development, as well as I am part of a community development corporation called A Solution Group to Community Development Corporation, which actually has given jobs in the community to other residents because we have unfortunately been denied that access going through partnerships. So it's concerning to me, and I want to know how this RFP was given or this conversation was had with this gentleman, this developing the vacant land, because we ourselves are getting ready to build. We have to go outside of our community because we're being disenfranchised in our very own community of participation on our own wellness and building in our participation. So I want to know how and what aspects is that they're being taken, as well as there's multiple violations when you guys approved that to go through without confirming with the Holcomb Home residents that communication was had. So I asked and I requested that you guys provide that document, and then you guys still turn right back around and violated federal policies and regulations and approve that. And so I'm looking for you guys to go back and also think about that, and then put out the proper communication to the residents so they can have accurate involvement. So I really would like to know, again, about that Community Development Corporation participation in the development of the communities. As on this project, we are getting ready to develop and break ground in March with another location. 50 units are going to be built. LGBTQ community, as well as youth transitioning from foster care, are going to be housed in those things, as well as daycare, as well as a medical is going to be provided. So where is the
Thank you, Ms. Rose. I'll also ask that you stay back to get some of your questions answered, please. All right, the last card I have before me is Ms. Phyllis Carpenter.
Okay, so the last time I was here about my apartment in the annex, the last test that I seen, the spore count was 10,000 and 4,000. So obviously, they said they took it off the block to repair it. In the meeting, Mr. Bush was with me. They said, Nikki handed me the piece of paper. I read it out loud because I recorded the conversation. And she said, let me see that. And I got sidetracked and didn't get that piece of paper back. I've been requesting it ever since, have not got it. So since then, June, they offered me an apartment in Sherman Gardens.
I'm sorry, did you say you recorded someone's conversation?
Yeah, I recorded it in the meeting. I recorded the meeting.
Got it, okay.
And I record almost every meeting anytime I meet with any of these guys. They offered me Sherman Gardens. I said, that's fine, I'll go to Sherman Gardens. I got a call from Commissioner Craig. She said that they had an executive meeting and that they said that Marble Manor was an option. I said, I would prefer Marble Manor, but I'll take Sherman Gardens because I can have my own washer there. Next thing I know, they contact me and tell me I'm moving to Schaefer Heights. And so I didn't get a choice. I'm supposed to have a choice where I live. I was not supposed to be downgraded. The apartment is almost 300 feet smaller. I didn't get to take my washer and dryer with me. They put it in storage. Ava told me I would be the only one with access to that storage. Come to find out, they put it in a wooden bin in a warehouse, and I don't have any access to it. So there was a smell when I did the walkthrough. And the neighbors came over and told me afterwards that the man had been in that apartment dead for 4 months. They did replace the floor and the carpet, did a really lousy paint job. They didn't paint the ceiling. After 1 month, the body literally explodes, okay? And I asked them for their certificate of cleaning. For a whole week and a half, they wouldn't give it to me. Ava Lee Quick, Lovey, and Kevin came to my house. I asked Miss Quick not to bring Ava into my space. She did anyways. She came to my house like she's a professional sniffer or something, and tells me the only thing she could smell is cigarettes. Yeah, because I just went outside and smoked a cigarette, and you smelled the cigarette on me. But you try to live in that house. It makes me sick. The biohazard is airborne, okay? And I proved to her that they didn't even clean the air ducts. The air vent where the filter goes, I dropped it down. You could see all the lint. As well as she said that she was going to have them come out and clean the air duct. They came out the next day. They cleaned the register only. That's not clean. And they didn't even clean the ducts because I had the ducts cleaned at Sartini a couple months ago, and they literally did it totally different. All he cleaned was the registers. This is unfair. And now I'm being bitten by bugs. So now I've been moved to biohazard. It's
I'm sorry.
not fair.
Thank you for your comments. I would ask that you hang back. It sounds like someone did follow up from the last time we had a meeting, but I won't, go into the details here, but I would just ask that you have a conversation with them to see if there's an opportunity to follow up on your concerns now. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward at this period in time? All right, hearing and seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.